If I win the lottery, one of the fucking first things I will do is get myself to a doctor and say, fix this fucking voice box of mine. But unfortunately, I can't afford it, so I can't fix it. Never mind, shit happens. Morning, everybody. How are you? You all right, are you? Yes, it's was it Wednesday today? I'm feeling rather exhausted as usual, but I'm chipper at the same time, if you like, you know. Not too bad. I'm just going to stick my headset on charge because it's saying less than 2 hours talk time. Yeah. Well, I'm in Willenhall at the moment, but I just spoke to the lad here who's doing the offloading, and he says that I'll be with you as soon as I can, but it could be a couple of hours. And I'm like, do you know what, mate? To be honest with you, considering it's a day like this, I don't care. You carry on, sunshine. You can only do what you can do. I'll let them lot know, and that's as far as it goes. If I'm just ain't in the mood for doing fuck all today. I mean, I got up this morning, I was like, oh man, this is just not fair. Oh, I want to go back to bed. So the fucking snooze is on the alarm, like, and then it goes, literally, as soon as you press that snooze button, have you ever had that? You press the snooze button, and immediately it's back on again, and what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, bollocks. And then I've picked the thing up and I'm like, turning it off. I'm like, shit, I'm going to have to get in a minute. So then you get out of bed and you're trundled over to the fucking bathroom and brushed my teeth, had a piss. And I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to have a shower. I don't want one. I don't really fucking care for one. I can go all day stinking. I don't give a shit. I'm too fucking tired. But the reason why I need to have a shower is to wake myself fucking up. So that's what I did. And when I get out of the shower, my fucking alarm's going off again. I'm thinking, how come my alarm's going off again? What the fuck? I turned that off. Oh, this shows how tired I was. I must not have turned the fucker off. But yeah, there you have it. So I could seriously do some. I need, realistically, right, this is how I see it. I've got to drop this down. I feel like I'm up in the air. There we go. I feel a little bit more. Yeah. So I'm doing this like. Oh man, it's just not good. No, I don't like it. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, here we are. I'm all fresh and smell nice. And yeah, as you do. I didn't leave the house till 6 o'clock. I mean, I was supposed to be in at 6, but like I say, I just didn't want to go. I didn't want to be here. I'm just so tired, so fucking tired. But at the moment, I feel rather perky. I mean, it won't last. I mean, it'll soon fucking die off. Like, you know, like, oh, yeah. And then the batteries will soon run out as they do. But yesterday was a bunch of fun. I was a couple of accidents that had occurred, and because I would, instead of doing Cannock to Lichfield, I was doing Lichfield to Derby, that backwards and forwards. And the first little incident that I managed to scoot through before it caused a problem was on the A50. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but looking on face value, I would say that the little horse box, when I was, you know, them like maroony little fucking owl, purpley, whatever you want to call it, coloured things that carry horses inside. It's a 7.5 ton version, I think. That must have pulled out of the lay-by, and the lorry driver just decided that, well, I can't move over, I can't stop, and straight into the back of it. And it caught the driver's side back corner and gave it a bit of a smack. And so, yeah. Hence the reason, right, you might find this extremely strange, weird, and what? Yeah, really? But you are supposed to give way to the right, okay? A lot of the times you'll see when it comes to either lay-bys on dual carriageways, when it's A roads, great, right. I have even pointed this out many a time, right? You give way to the right. You wait for a gap that's big enough for you to get out of, and then you pull out, signalling as you go. But the gap has to be that big that realistically you think to yourself, well, what's the point in fucking indicating? You do that anyway, it's just the way you're taught. Well, at least that's the way I was taught. I know it seems rather strange, right? But this is the how I was taught. When you pull off the side of a road or from out of a lay-by, blah, 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 you wait, right? When the road is clear, right, you keep checking your mirrors, you indicate, and you go. When the road is clear. Then you think to yourself, well, what's the point in indicating? There's fuck all there. Who are you indicating to? Well, this is the thing, you see. When it's clear, that means at least half a mile of a gap. Half a mile, maybe more, will give people the chance to then get over and move out your way. But if you just dump yourself on the road in front of traffic that literally can't avoid you, well, then the consequences are that you get done for dangerous driving without due care and attention. And if you injure somebody, it's even fucking worse. That you don't want. There are certain places, obviously, dual carriageways, and the A38 section through fucking Litchfield Way, the Fradley Park turn off, and there's several others up that way, are an absolute bastard to get out of if you're trying to join the A38. But that still doesn't give you the right to just dump yourself out there. Like I say, it's give way to the right. Now, the reason why it's give way to the right, believe it or not, is because we drive on the left. If you want to ignore the right, then get out of a country that drives on the fucking right. You know what I mean? And then you have to give way to the left. Oh. The way that I see it, right, this is a perception, right, of today's driving when it comes to this so-called giving way to the right as you are driving down, let's pick a dual carriageway for argument's sake, because they are faster roads and they tend to have slip roads, sort of, maybe smaller. Motorways have longer runs, like as they normally do, you know, depending. I mean, the majority of them, slip roads for motorways, they are long and they do have a good run up so that you can get some speed on, keep checking your vision, looking out as you're supposed to do, look over your fucking right shoulder, not use that little square thing on the side of your door, right? You look out there and then you go, get yourself up to momentum, find your gap and you go, right? But a lot of people out there, and this has been going on for a long time, because the fact that drivers do pull over to the vacant lane if necessary to do so, one, to avoid any kind of slowing down because the monkey coming down the slip road has decided to travel it slower than anybody else and just go there straight into the fucking line of traffic. But lorry drivers especially, right, we tend to, as we drive down a dual carriageway or a motorway, this is what I do, right? I can't speak for anybody else. This is what I do as a lorry driver and as a car driver, to be fair. But as I'm travelling down, when I meet a junction, right, the run off don't bother me, but the slip road on, that's what I'm concerned about. So as I'm travelling down, as soon as I meet that junction, I'm looking up, right, I'm physically looking to see if there's any traffic coming down that slip road, right? This is a handy tip for anybody who travels down dual carriageways or even motorways, right? If you sit there like this in your car, your van or whatever, and you got your fucking blinkers on, right, you don't see a dicky bird because you're too busy doing this, right, and you don't bother to look at your surroundings and the obstacles that are there, then you're going to come into trouble, aren't you? Right? But when you're driving down a dual carriageway or a motorway, you see a junction, you see it's got a slip road, and you can physically see it, right? The only advice I would give you is you check your surroundings. You watch the junction. If there's a bunch of traffic coming down, right, don't assume that they're going to give way, right? They are supposed to, and it is law that they should. If they do come ballering down the old slip road and give you a good twatting, right, well, they're the ones that are fucked for it, not you, right? And the consequences are severe, right? And there's many a time you'll see that there'll be a fucking, on a HGV, there'll be a car glued to the front because the idiots come straight down and just go turn straight in, right? And it makes you wonder, well, how come this idiot didn't see this great big 60 foot, 15, 16 foot vehicle as they've come down the slip road? I'll tell you why. Because they don't bother checking their surroundings, right? They use that little fucking square on there which only sees part of what the road they're looking at, but they leave it far too late anyway, right? And they just pull out, bang, done. And that causes everybody to have a nightmare, because now there's a fucking crash on the motorway, lanes are shut, people's days are fucked, and all because they can't be bothered to think before they act. Simple. So when you're driving down the road, dual carriageway or motorway, you see a junction. Dual carriageways tend to be levelled. There are some drop-offs, there are some rises. They're very short and pokey, they are, aren't they? You tend to get in that because there's not a lot of room when it comes to dual carriageways. So you see the junction, check your surroundings. If the junction isn't busy and there's literally hardly anything coming off it, then you're pretty much okay. You may, if you choose to just ease it just a wee bit, as long as it's not ridiculous from, because I mean the 38 is a 70-mile-an-hour road, so if you're going to be forced to drop down to 40 and 30 miles an hour, now that's ridiculous. They're in the wrong, and they've caused a hazard by doing that. So if you see the junction, you look, you check your surroundings, and if your lane that's next to you is clear, right, to help you on your way, signal, check your mirrors, blah blah blah, look over your shoulder, make sure, move over, get past the junction. Done. And if there is anything coming down, they've got, not only can they then have a gap to get into, they haven't got anything to slow them down or any kind of problems with joining the road as it is in that situation. So that helps you as well as it helping them. But it's not on you to do this, right? This is just a courtesy, right? And if you feel like you've a nice day today, I'm feeling quite happy, I'm all well and good in my own fucking way of life, I'm loving this, I'm going to be courteous today and I'm going to do all that. Brilliant, hats off to you, well done. But you don't have to, right? It is down to the person that wants to join that fucking dual carriageway, that motorway, that lane. It is up to them to be vigilant, watch what's coming on, check their surroundings, and make sure the gap and their speed matches and they get on and go. Another pet hate of mine that fucking winds me up, I'm like, and I'm telling these people to fucking move. When I'm joining a motorway or joining a dual carriageway off a slip road, the last thing that I want is an individual slowing down to virtually fuck all in the lane that's 70 miles an hour just to let me on. It's not up to them, right? They can go. If they move over from it where I'm checking and they do move over, then great, I can go. But I do not want drivers slowing down to a fucking crawl on a lane that's doing 70 miles an hour. It is a hazard and it is dangerous. It's not give way to the left, it's give way to the fucking right. And they're still doing it. I had it the other day. I'm coming out of Fadley Park and I wanted to go north up the 38, and a van driver slows right the way down because I'm trying to get there, but I'm pacing because I'm waiting for traffic to go, because I'm already looking. As I meet the junction, I turn left, I'm already looking to see what's there. I see vehicles coming, so I'm gauging it. And then this idiot ruins it by slowing all the way down to a fucking crawl, flashing his lights, and I'll just sit there. I'm stationary now because it's give way to the fucking right, not the left. So then you just flash him on, get out of the way, move. Because now as soon as he was gone, I was able to go anyway, right? Because there was hardly any traffic behind him, and they all started to move over because they see me signalling, which is brilliant. Hats off to them for being kind and courteous. But they haven't got to. If you slow down, right, to a crawl, you're causing a hazard and you're making it dangerous for other drivers. If you want to let that vehicle out, the best thing that you can do is move over to the next lane. That is the best thing that you can do. Other than that, you just keep going, right? Because if they hit you when they're coming down a slip road to join, they're the ones at fault, not you. It's give way to the right. I just wish people would understand this and stop assuming. You know what I mean? Never do that. It's crap. It causes too much hassle. It really does. It causes too much hassle. Other than that, though, I mean, it was a reasonably pleasant day. There was I think there was talking about the old giving way to the to the right and at the left and left and at the right and all that sort of shit. On the A38 junction, when you come out of Fradley Park and you turn right and go up and over the slingshot, well, on the exit to it, to go southbound the 38, again, lorry in the back end of another lorry. And as I was pulling up the slip road to come off at Fradley Park, I was watching the fire brigade. There was covering him up to protect him from the saws to cut him out. He looked like he was okay to a point. I mean, he was conscious and he was like sort of like chatting to him, like, and all that. But he was stuck. He was pinned in a bit. And I mean, luckily it wasn't seriously serious. I mean, he may have had a couple of superficial injuries. I mean, I don't know if he got any broken bones or anything like that, but he didn't seem to be like wailing around in pain, like, so I don't know. He just must have been pinned. So if he was just pinned and he's just got a few scrapes and bruises, he's fucking lucky, because it was the driver's side that got crushed in. And as I'd gone and done my thing, knowing that they was doing that. I come out of Tesco's, went back around, and as I coming round, because it was still flowing, the traffic was, it was, at that point it was crawling, I had to get past it, but I was able to get around the slingshot and not bother, like, you know, so it was all right. And of course, I'm looking at the cab of the vehicle now, and the doors off it, like, and I've cut bits and pieces, but his rigger boots was still in the footwell, because obviously his feet must have got pinned and they'd pulled him out of his boots. And I'm thinking, that must have scared the living shit out of that guy. It was just, yeah. I certainly wouldn't have wanted to be in his shoes. But the thing is, it's again, the person who pulled out in front of him, yeah, you know what I mean? Oh, here we go. Pop you there for a sec. I'm just moving along the bus. Moving along the bus. And I've got a beep coming from somewhere now, and I don't know why. I think this GPS thing's beeping. Yeah, the fucking GPS thing's beeping now. They never did that before. Now it's beeping. Weird. Weird. Yeah, so that's my day yesterday and the day before, with all that sort of stuff. I had to play with me nephew's Nerf gun. See if I could do something with that. It's getting annoying, isn't it? Why now? You've been fine for the last fucking 20 minutes. So I I took the battery carriage out, which carries these fucking whacking great batteries in it. 6 of them, pushing out 9.2 volts, and the contact plates was corroded, so I pulled all that apart, got them out, got myself, I got some sandpaper and scrubbed it all off and cleaned it, and then filed all the corrosive debris off, reassembled all that back together again, and now the actual, I tested the battery carriage, all the batteries in, there's 2 little contacts at the side of it, tested that, and now it's like I say, it's pushing out the 9.2 volts for it, but it's still not working. So I was checking around the gun to see if I could find any on-off switch, but there isn't one, so it must be just activated by pulling the trigger, but it's not doing its job. So I've got a funny feeling now it's either going to be something internal from that point, from the battery carriage, or it may be the trigger assembly itself. So that's my next task. I'm going to take that apart. That'll be fun. Yeah. Still waiting for my mouse from a computer to turn up. As like I said, I put on fire. I was hoping that it'd turn up, but it never did. So either today or tomorrow, maybe, I don't know, or at least before the weekend, I should imagine. So hopefully it will do, and I'll be able to play with that then. I just hope it does work and that it's not something else, maybe physical, that's wrong with the motherboard, that they're not allowing the mouse to work. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, other than that, I just watched a bunch of YouTube last night. I was watching was it Craig Ferguson? I was watching some of the old stuff, because I've never heard of the guy before, but when I'd been scouring through YouTube, and I come across his late night show thing, and I didn't realise how long ago that he was actually doing this late night thing, this show. And it's when he interviews all the ladies, like, you know what I mean, and I just find it amusing. It's absolutely hilarious, and it's just a shame. I just, you know, it's a shame that I missed it, but apparently it never aired in the UK anyway. So there you go. Even though he's a Scottish guy, it never aired in the UK. So we get to see all the compilations of different interviews that he's done with different stars, like through the years, and it's hilarious. I love watching it. It's subscribed to the channel called the JLNL Fly. It's funny, absolutely funny as fuck. It really is. That's pretty much what I did last night. Other than that, there was nothing else to do. I was bored. I went to bed. Well, I didn't want to go to bed. I was tired, but I just knew what was coming, because it was so warm again. I mean, I'm sweating like a fucking pig here. It's like, honestly, I just can't escape it. I just can't escape this heat. It's doing my head in. So yeah, I'm wanting to get to bed because I'm tired, but I don't want to get to bed because I know I'm gonna be fidgeting, and I'm like, I got the window open, and I'm woken up by whatever's going on next door, and I'm fucking thinking, go on, just piss off and leave me alone, let me sleep if I can. And now, so what I might do though, I might pop to Argos on the weekend, because apparently they've got these little tiny air coolers, a bit like an air conditioning, but I can't see it being that good personally, because it's only a small thing and it's only costs 40 quid, whereas an actual air conditioning unit costs about fucking 300 quid for you know, the bottom of the range version. So I'm a bit sceptical, but if it just breaks it a little bit, I mean, I think that'll be enough. I think. I mean, I could DIY my own, couldn't I? You know what I mean? I could get myself a couple of fans, like, and a big plastic box, and stick a chip and just bang a load of ice in it, like, you know, I could do it that way. But yeah, it's an idea, I suppose. Why not? Anyway, it has cooled down. I mean, this morning again was cooler. It'll get warmer as the day goes on, I know that for a fact, but instead of waking up and it's blisteringly hot, it's been at for me, I would say, a comfortable 15-16 degrees, and I don't mind that. That's all right, that is. I can live with that. Push it up to around about 18, but when it starts hitting 20 and then 25 and 28, it's getting a bit much. What the fuck did you pick up? It's doing it on purpose, isn't it? That's what it's doing. I need something to wedge it with. I don't know what to wedge it with though. I'm sure I've got a thing or something. Have I got a thing? Have I got a thing? I've got lots of things. Have I got a thing for that? You reckon? I'm into crap I've got some true. I like to bring me crap with me though, just in case something happens. It's always better to be prepared. I mean, I've got this thing here which I was hoping would work, but the problem is that it was a vent version to hold my phone, but it turns out the motor trucks haven't got a vent which is facing here, so it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I actually got ripped off of that. Yes, I did get ripped off. Big time. I had another little gadget as well somewhere knocking about that I bought from a pound shop, but I don't know what the fuck I've done. I ain't got a clue. Oh no, it's probably around here somewhere, I suppose. In amongst all the crap I've got. I'll have to figure it out. I've got to try and find something to do with. Because it's always nice to be able to sit there and not have to worry about the frigging phone falling down and wobbling all over the bloody place. Because there's just, like I said, there's no way to put the down thing. Nowhere at all. It won't even fit on there. No. See, look at it. Just isn't right. Yeah. See? I just can't. For some reason he's doing that now, and then I don't know why. Why are you doing that? I can't do that. Because it's an air. Yeah. It's as if the weight of the phone itself is actually pushing the little tray out. If you pull the tray out to its full amount, right, like that, it leans up against there, you see, that's what I'm pretty much doing, but that's too far, What's going on with this for? How do you actually break a tray like that? How does that work? Some cool clips in there, something. I am now just amazed. Yeah, well, never mind. Not to worry. What else have I done? Nout. That's pretty much it for me. I suppose I better go then, hadn't I? There's not much else I can tell you. And, yeah. I'll leave you to it. I'll speak to you a lot later. Enjoy your day. I know it's this heat is driving a lot of people insane, but do what you can and have fun. Because eventually, winter will be here and we'll all be complaining it's too fucking cold. Oh, I'm going. I'll speak to you later. Ta-da. Have a good one. Bye. I need to find somewhere to put this stupid phone, but I don't know where to put it. They're fooling its house. Yeah, well, never mind.